welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose, and this is my review for Haunted Mansion. Disney, giving us that old, if you first you don't succeed, try and try again. We've seen Haunted Mansion, I forget when it was, Eddie Murphy version, which it was dog shit. Let's be honest, right? So it couldn't get worse than that, right? So I guess, they're trying to do a Pirates of the Caribbean, taking one of the rides and trying to make something successful out of it, trying to I guess catch lightning in the bottle here with this particular franchise. And I'll say this: the attempts were more successful than the Eddie Murphy abomination of a movie, but that doesn't mean that it was a great film to begin with. And I'll get to that in a second. But for those who may be unfamiliar with what's going on here, we got a big cast. We got Owen Wilson, Lakeith Stanfield, Jared Leto's actually in this one, Tiffany Haddish, Danny DeVito, and others here. We have Rosario Dawson, her son. In the movie, they end up buying a house in a little bit an hour north of New Orleans. The house ends up being haunted, but unfortunately, they try to leave, but they're forced back into the house because they are haunted out of the house and have to figure out a way to break the curse or what have you. So they start recruiting these individuals. Owen Wilson, who's a priest, maybe an exorcism may work. We got Lakeith Stanfield's character, who was used to be a astrophysicist, and now he just kind of does walking towards in New Orleans. He had some personal issues going on, which the movie dives into. But he developed a kind of a lens that he could use to kind of take pictures of ghosts and aberrations and etc. etc. Not that he really believes in that stuff anyway, at least not yet. And Danny DeVito's character is like a professor, and Tiffany Haddish is like a medium, etc. etc. So they all get trapped into and tricked and trapped into this haunted mansion and have to figure out a way to kind of break out of it and break the curse or whatever the case is. And it sounds silly and all that, and yeah, it is silly and all that. This movie is not good. I really had a hard time really attaching myself to this film, or even most of the characters. And listen, to be fair, I'm not exactly a demographic for this movie, right? This is a family film. It's Disney, fair enough, but it's one, I think it's kind of dumbed down with the humor. That's really, I think, going to appeal mainly to kids. I know a lot of kids in the audience today, and they were laughing and enjoying it. So, proving my point, the adults were not. A couple of people that actually walked out and left about an hour into the film. It's not that bad. Don't get me wrong. This is not a horrific movie. It's meh. The kids say it's mid. Anyway, the humor doesn't quite hit most of the time. I chuckle here and there, particularly with Tiffany Haddish. I think she's very talented. I like her in this role. But overall, it's what you expect out of a Disney film. It's well produced, some cool imagery here and there with the ghosts and the house and all that. You've seen some of the trailers. That's fine. Again, the humor falls flat, but this is overcomplicated. It was overlong. This is about just around 2 hours. Should have been an hour and a half at best. So they tried to do too much with the story, and it got kind of bloated and unnecessary. And my interest waned by every minute of this film because I just was not entertained. That is not enough for me. Anyway, it lacks some punch, so imagination. And Owen Wilson is kind of wasted here. Like Keith Stanfield, he came to play, so I'll give credit's due. And also some sweet moments, some heartfelt moments throughout the film, but didn't quite pay off in the end as it probably should have. And that's because the story is just dumb sometimes, and then the humor is dumbed down. It's great for kids, but for the adults, you might get bored, at least in my opinion. Just wasn't really worth the time. And I think at an hour and a half, maybe the ending would have hit home more than what it did, and unfortunately, it did not. I don't know. I really hope this doesn't do well because I really don't want to see any more. It's like you try once, and yes, you try it again, and it's better. This is better than the Eddie Murphy version, but this is ain't Pirates of the Caribbean. Not even close, and this is not a great film, not a good film at all. At best, it's just mediocre. Skip the theaters. You can maybe catch it on Disney Plus in about 2 or 3 months. Fine, you could do worse. Particularly, again, if the kids really want to go see it, I think the kids will be entertained. To be fair, I think the kids may actually enjoy this. The adults, not so much. It's kind of a waste of time, a waste of talent with that cast. Yeah, it's uninteresting, boring, and overall just terribly disappointing. Let's be honest. It is what it is. Not a good film at all. So so many issues with it. But at the end of the day, you guys choose to go watch it. Buyer beware. I get it. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.